Yo guys, so today's Wednesday. Look what just showed up in the mail. So this is the whole new engine harness for an '04 Grand Am GT. Same plugs. Holy shit. Okay, this is the custom part of the harness, and that's the downpipe. And so he said to chop off that 3-bolt flange directly at the flange, and this will slip over it, and you can either clamp it in or weld it in, and that bolts directly to the 3/8. I really want to try to use the ZZP catless downpipe, but if it just absolutely will not work, then I'll use this. But if anything, I'll save it as a backup. But that is awesome. And then I got the new headlights in for the new '06 Prix for my mom, so I'm gonna pop those open, go ahead and install those real quick. But yeah, man, I am super stoked. More progress on the Grand Am, so I'll give you all another update on the Grand Am once I make it over to the storage. Alright, you guys, look at there. So there's the old headlights. There's the new ones. God damn, that's just a transformation. This looks so good. They fit so nice and perfect. Like, they fit so well. It just looks so good. So now, once it gets dark, I'll actually be able to test them. It didn't come with bulbs, so I just used the exact same bulbs that were in those and plugged them in, and they're good to go. So I'll give another update on the headlights once it gets dark. But I'm about to load this back up and run over to Tommy's, pull that master cylinder off of the Impala, and then come back over. And I also got some brand new lower control arms today, and so I'm gonna jack it up, do the lower control arms, and do the master cylinder, bleed all the brakes, and hopefully that fixes the pedal. And then if I have time, then I'll do the inner tie rods as well. So I'm gonna close this down, run over here to Tommy's, grab that master cylinder, and I'll give y'all another update. Alright, you guys, so I just got back over here to the house from Tommy's. Just went and pulled the master cylinder off of the blue Impala, and it is identical. So I'm about to pop the hatch, get some tools out, go unlock the new '06 Grand Prix back there, and pop the hood and start getting this master cylinder swapped around so I can bleed the brakes. And then I also got the new lower control arms with the ball joints. They're inside. They got delivered earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and get those put on the car, and also try to swap out the inner tie rods, and just hope that everything works like it's supposed to and we don't have any problems or any issues, and we'll get this this Grand Prix driving like brand new again. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give y'all another update. Alright, you guys, so I've got the car in the driveway, got the hatch opened up, got some tools out. So I've popped the hood. I've already got the two 15mm nuts off that hold on the master cylinder. So now it slides. Okay, it's loose. And then so on the Impala, it was a 12mm for all these fittings. On this '06, it's a 13. So I'm using a 13mm wrench, and I've got all 4 of these lines broke free. It was actually really easy on this one compared to the Impala. On the Impala, a couple of them were like C's, and I had to heat them up with the torch and use vice grips to get them broke free. These, they just broke free with the wrench, so kind of got lucky there. But so what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and unscrew all these lines, and I've already used the brake bleeder kit and sucked all of the brake fluid out of the reservoir. And so now I just got to disconnect the lines, and that will minimize all of the fluid dripping down here on all over everything by emptying all that fluid out. So I'm going to go ahead and get these lines pulled out of here and get this master cylinder pulled off of there, and then I'll go ahead and grab the other one out of the front floorboard and get it cleaned up a little bit, and I'll slide it back on here and start getting it reconnected, and I'll give you all another update. Alright you guys, so got the old one off down here. You see how nasty dirty it is inside. I mean, really, like this backside, it doesn't look that bad, but you can definitely see the corrosion right there. And this one doesn't have any corrosion in it. This one looks a lot nicer. It's still kind of dirty inside. So we're going to see if we have any brake cleaners so we can spray it out, trying to clean it up a little. But other than that, all the fittings should just go right back in there, and it should just hook right back up. I am going to use the wire wheel and kind of clean up the booster a little bit, get some of that crap out of there. And while I'm doing that, I think David's going to run home and see if he has any brake clean, and then we'll get it cleaned out if he does, and then get it back together, get the lines on, and we should be in business. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. Alright y'all, so I'm still waiting for David to come back. So I just kind of make sure everything fit. It slid right on. All the fittings are threading right in, no problem. So I'm not tightening everything down yet. I'm still waiting for David to get back, but in case he doesn't have any, it's just ready to go. I can put the nuts on, tighten them down, tighten the lines down, fill it up with fluid, and bleed them. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait about 10-15 minutes, however long it takes for David to get back, and then I'll give you guys another update and let you know what the deal is. So I'm in the car. I've got the David didn't have any brake cleaner. Oh well. So went ahead and I wire wheeled the booster, got the master bolted on, got all the lines hooked up and tight, topped it off with brake fluid, and I'm just pumping up the brake pedal. Here, David, you want to show that fluid? It already feels way better than it did. Definitely starting to have to bleed it some more today.
Yeah, you've had a handful of bubbles come up.
Heck yeah. How's it look though?
Very dark.
Oh yeah, it got real dark quick. Real dark.
I watched it turn, it was like clear, and then it was just like ink.
Alright, well, now I've got to jack this thing up, got to get the front wheels off, the rear wheels off, so I need to get the jack out, and I only have 2 jack stands with me, so I'm going to have to let the 07 off those jack stands, so I'll have 4 jack stands, and yeah, get in there, get all 4 wheels off, and I'm going to bleed these brakes, and check out all the rear suspension. And while I have it in the air, I'm going to do the rear trailing arms, because I have those in the trunk, and it does have a little bit of a sway in the rear, and it still has a little bit of a sway in the front when I hit the brake. So I'll get those brand new lower control arms on, and maybe the inner tie rods. I need to get them done, but it's just a pain in the ass, and I don't have a whole lot of time. So but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the jack out and get this thing in the air, get some jack stands under it, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright you guys, so I got the car up in the air on jack stands in the front, got the driver's side front wheel off, and so as you can see, this lower control arm is just ancient, it's caked on, the bushings, I mean, you can tell the ball joint, it's all cracked and dry rotted. I mean, I'm sure it's still okay, but just like all these bushings are just cracked and dry rotted. So I got some brand spanking new ones. It was like $60, $59 for both of them. So I went ahead and got those. They came in like 2 days, super fast shipping. So now I can tear this shit apart again, and go ahead and get these lower control arms swapped out. So I've got a 21mm up here, 21mm over here. That side's a 18, and then the bottom side is a T50 or T55. I forget which one, but I have it in the kit over here. So, but yeah, so I've got to get those 2 bolts out and the lower ball joint bolt out, and then this should pretty much just drop right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this stuff disconnected, get this old lower control arm out so I can get this new one in, and then I've got to go over to the other side to pull the other front wheel off and go ahead and get that other front lower control arm on. And then whenever David gets back, he's gonna help me bleed the brakes, so I still need to jack up the rear and get the rear on jack stands and get the rear wheels off, and then that way I can have all 4 wheels off. We'll be able to get to all the bleeders really easily. We got to start at the passenger rear, then the driver rear, then the passenger front, then the driver front. And so that's the order we have to bleed all 4. And if I get done with the control arms before David gets back and I get it jacked up in the rear and everything, then I'll probably start using the hand pump bleeder just to bleed it some and get it started. And then after that, like if he shows up, then we'll continue with the regular bleeding style, pumping the pedal and hitting the bleeder valve. So, but I mean, other than that, everything's looking good. Not seeing any transmission leaks. That's all brake fluid from the lines whenever I disconnected the master. So don't worry about that. That's nothing. It's just brake fluid. But I mean, other than that, yeah, everything else is still looking really good. So I guess I'm going to grab some tools, start getting this lower control arm off, and give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've got the old lower control arm off. I've got the new one on. So the only thing that is kind of bothering me about it is once I put the wheel on and all this moves up, I'm worried about this tab here hitting the sway bar. That's the only thing that's worrying me, because right now it's all lower down, but then once it swivels up, it's going to swivel up and in towards the front of the vehicle, and it's going to make it super close to that tab. So I'm kind of debating on cutting that tab off. But I know it said it fit for an 06 Grand Prix base model, so I know those are the other style. I've got control arms before that didn't have those little ears on them at all. And that was the one that these sway bar links came with. And then whenever I pulled these off the black 06 Grand Prix, I upgraded to this style with these tabs. And then changed the sway bar to where it come out and come over to like here. And then it just had a little straight bar, just like how it's set up on the 07. Just like this. And this was the style that I switched to. So hopefully there's no issues with that. If it hits, then I'll just grab the Sawzall and chop them off. But this side is done for now. Like I said, I still need to do the inners, but I'm just running out of daylight already. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to the other side, swap out that lower control arm with the other new one, and get everything tightened back down, and then that should be good on the front end for now. And then I'm going to need to move to the rear, get it up in the air on jack stands, which means I need to get the 07 off of jack stands so I can use them over here on the 06. And then once I get it up on jack stands in the rear and get the rear wheels off, then I'll be ready to bleed all these brakes. And I can also swap those rear trailing arms while I'm still waiting on David. So I'm going to go get this other control arm done on the passenger side and give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I've got the other side lower control arm installed. So, like I said, still got to do the inner tie rods. I'm not going to do them right now. I'm about to get the rear end up in the air and get it on jack stands so I can get the rear wheels off. So I can go ahead and do the rear trailing arms, and then we're going to bleed the brakes, all 4. So I need it on all 4 jack stands, all 4 wheels off to get to all the bleeders. So that's the next step. So I'm about to get the 07 off of jack stands so I can get the rear of the 06 on jack stands, and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so just got the passenger rear side bled, and as you can see, it squirted out a bunch. I was trying to use this, but it was just too much pumping with him pumping the brakes doing it. It was just squirting out way too much air. But got it to where there's no air coming out now. So I'm good to go over here. So now we're moving, just moved over here to the driver's side rear, and I've already got the wrench on there. I've already broke it free, and I'm just taking my rag and holding it over. And but yeah, everything's going good. So I'm gonna do this side, then the passenger front, then the driver front, and I'll give you guys another update. All right, y'all, we about to get to work bleeding this other rear over here. So I'll give you guys another update after I get this side bled and we're working on the fronts. All right, y'all, so we got all 4 corners bled. David said the pedal feels good, so oh yeah, that's it. It used to go all the way to the floor. That's just amazing.
Feels great now.
So now it should actually be able to stop without having to put it all the way to the floor. So it was indeed a bad master cylinder. So master cylinder is now swapped. Lower control arms are swapped. I still have to do the inner tie rods. Both are still bent. But I'm still waiting on the brand new inner boots because these are ripped as well. So I'm not going to be able to reuse either one of them. So I'm going to have to wait until the inner tie rod boots come in with the new clamps, and then I'll be able to swap the inner tie rods and put new boots on and have the new outers. But I did grease everything with the grease gun, so everything has been greased and everything is good to go. The only thing I'm worried about, like I said, is those little ears, but other than that, everything's doing really good. It's been driving really well, so hopefully doing the control arms and ball joints and stuff will help out with the hitting the brakes. And then I still have to do the rear trailing arms. But I'm going to go ahead and bolt the front wheels back on and get the front off of jack stands and do the rear trailing arms. And then I'll be able to get this whole rear end put back together and get the car back on the ground and go for a test drive. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you guys another update. All right, you guys. So we've got it on the ground. And it looks like the sway bar links clear that notch. So I guess we'll see if they get torn up or not. But look at that inner tie rod boot. That thing is trashed. So now you can see why I said I ordered new ones. So as soon as those get here, I'll do the inner tie rods. But for now, the bent ones are working. And yeah, well, I had it in the air. I shook the wheels. Wheel bearings are awesome. There's no play on either side. I forgot to check the rear ones before I let it down off the jack stands, but man, this car has come a long way in the last 4 or 5 days. So
Got to take it around the block.
but yeah, so I'm about to just make sure all the fluids are good and topped off and move all these tools out of the way. And I'll go take her around the block, check out these headlights and see how well I'm going to be able to see, or my mom's going to be able to see when she's driving this thing. So I'm going to pick some stuff up, move some stuff around, and give you guys another update. Alright, you guys, so I went and drove the car around. It stops great. I can see awesome with the headlights. I didn't get to drive it on the highway yet, so I'm going to drive it to work again tomorrow. But the brakes are way better, 1,000 times better. So nice, solid pedal. Stops on a dime now. And still not, no overheating. No leaks from the trans cooler lines or anything. No leaks from the radiator. Fans are still working. AC still ice cold. The headlights are working. The only thing that's not working are the tail lights and the tag lights, like the running lights. And I've checked the daytime running lights relay, and it works. Because when I put it in gear, the headlights come on. So I'm not too sure what the deal is with it, but I'll figure it out eventually. But I just want to give y'all an update, let y'all know the car runs and drives awesome. So doing all the suspension stuff really helped. And so, but yeah, I'll give you guys another update on it tomorrow whenever I'm on the highway headed to work or headed home from work. let y'all know how it handles on the highway and how good the eyeball alignment is. I'm probably going to take it by and get an actual alignment tomorrow after work for 50 bucks. And that way it's just good to go. I don't have to worry about it. And we can go from there. So y'all stay tuned. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey YouTube. Alright, so I've been working on this 06 Grand Prix for my mom. I drove it to work all week. And every day something's happened. But I've pretty much got everything fixed on the car. The car runs and drives great. It doesn't overheat. The fans work. The AC works. It's got new headlights, new fog lights. Like, I mean, I've done changed everything. It's still going to need struts. I still need to drop the tank and fix the fuel leak. And I still need to change the inner tie rods on the front. But I'm still waiting for the new boots to come in. But I mean, other than that, the car runs and drives really well. Like, the steering wheel sits about like this while I'm driving, but it drives perfectly straight. I can let go and it'll just drive straight. It's just the steering wheel's crooked because it needs an alignment. But I'm not going to take it to go get an alignment until I put the new inner tie rods on. So, but yeah, that's going to be it for this video. So, like the video if you liked it. Leave me a comment down below. And hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next video, which will probably be the last video of the 06 Grand Prix. So, yeah, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.